It has been one hell of a week for behavior, hasn't it? Like, it feels like one thing after another. And I've uploaded so many videos this week just talking about all the stuff that's happening in Dead by Daylight. And today we have another chapter to the saga in that behavior have finally addressed the cheating problem. Now, they've basically put out a forum on it, and we're going to talk about what they've said in the forum, and I'm going to give my thoughts on it a little bit. And, you know, as always, I'm really keen to hear your thoughts in the comments. So let's just get into it. We don't need to kind of dilly-dally, do we? So the first thing that they talk about is the fact that people have been talking about cheating. Okay, so, you know, they made the comment that cheating is an ongoing battle in any online game. Dead by Daylight is no exception. Very true. Interestingly, they said, we tend to stay quiet when it comes to cheating to avoid giving cheat developers vital information. But given recent events, most likely the video from Ots, Spooky Loop, Spook and Jukes, Potato Legion, Rapid Main, I could probably go on. We've decided to pull back the curtain and shed some light on what we've been doing to combat cheating and what we'll be working on moving forward. Now, you know, I do feel like there is a point to make here with the fact that we completely understand that you don't want to give away any vital information to these cheaters, but I do think there's a difference between giving us, you know, the exact breakdown of what you're doing and how you're doing it versus just saying, hey guys, we're listening. You know, I said it in my last video about the finishing Mori changes when we were talking about that. Just a little paragraph at the end of that to say, by the way, guys, we've seen your videos. We've seen what you're talking about. We do want you to know that we are looking at cheating, and we will release more information soon about how we're doing this. Just that little tidbit, you know, just so it doesn't feel like you're completely ignoring us, throwing the finishing Mori changes and the player satisfaction survey at us without actually talking about what we're concerned about. That's a little tidbit there from me, but, you know, minor. They say that apparently they've banned 200,000 cheaters so far, which is really, really good, and 50,000 so far this year alone. They then actually go on to say that in the last 7 days, they've actually banned over 2,000. Yeah, now, considering 50,000 over the year and 2,000 in the past 7 days, it does feel like the numbers suggest that they are maybe pushing on it a little bit harder. So that's nice to see, to be fair. We love to see that. And they break down some of the ways in which they address cheats. So the first one is automated bans, and that's basically your easy anti-cheat, which we see every time we load into the game. You know, that does its thing. In-game countermeasures, I don't really know what this does. They say we make changes to both the game client and dedicated servers to prevent cheaters from doing certain things. I guess that means just like securing your back end, you know, not making it as easy for hackers to influence the code or to change certain things in the game. That basically feels what that's about. And then manual bans is when we investigate your reports and manually block cheaters. This one's interesting, and they talk about it a little bit more in the future in this blog post, but it's something that I mentioned in my previous video talking about cheaters, where it feels like the report system is just crap. You know, it's basically just like, it doesn't work. It's been used to report people for body blocking and looping and clicking and, you know, all that stupid stuff. And it doesn't actually feel like it's a real system anymore. So it's interesting that they still talk about this, and they're still like, no, this is still something we want you to do. We'll get back onto that in just a little bit. They put forward this like roadmap for future improvements. Now, I actually saw this on Twitter before I read this blog post, because I didn't know that they put the blog post out, and I read this. And when I first looked at this, I was actually really, really bothered. I was really annoyed. Because, you know, as you can see from the language that they use here, it's really wishy-washy. You know, like fix various vulnerabilities, player sniping prevention, additional fail-safes, improve support tools. You know, I get that they're trying to hide what they're doing from the hackers themselves, but this could mean anything. These are basically like umbrella terms that don't actually give us any information about what they're going to be doing. And they say ongoing efforts as well, anti-cheat updates, manual bans, in-game countermeasures, which is what we just talked about, you know, up above. They do, however, in the blog, which I was really pleased to see, they break it down and they talk about the things that they're doing a little bit more. So, first, we will continue to identify and fix vulnerabilities to limit the effects of cheats. This includes additional measures to prevent player sniping, and they actually quote like forcibly joining a specific player's lobby, which has been a problem. You know, it's very different from somebody just watching your stream and trying to time the matchmaking to get in versus literally forcing their way into your lobby, which is what a lot of hackers have been managing to do nowadays. So that's really good that they're aware of that and they're working to fix that. The first version of this fix is currently slated for this fall, so I'm guessing like the next month or two. And we'll continue to monitor the situation. That's really good to hear. That all seems really good. Second, we'll be adding failsafes to commonly exploited portions of the game. For example, should a match ever continue beyond the endgame collapse for longer than 5 minutes, the game will forcibly end. Very, very, very good. That is amazing. I don't know why that wasn't a thing to begin with. The fact that they had a 2-hour server timer, which they actually say the max game time will reduce from 2 hours to 1 hour or less. Phenomenal. Well done. Like, that is just such a simple change, which will mean that even if somebody is held hostage, you know, it doesn't ruin a stream or a potential time sat down to make videos. That's really, really good, and bravo behavior for doing that. They say that's coming in Q4 2022, so again, 2-3 months or so. Third, we will continue to implement server-side validation where possible. This will take authority away from a cheater's game client and put it on a dedicated server, making cheating much more difficult. So from what, you know, I'm not really a game developer, I don't know all this stuff, but from what I'm taking away from that, it's basically saying that it will not allow a cheater to have control of the lobby. It will take it back, and it will give it back to the Dead by Daylight servers. Again, it was like a simple fix, you know, cheating and taking control of the whole client. That feels like something that allows you to impact anything. And that's the kind of thing, I think, which influences, you know, being able to, I don't know, force yourself on hook and change your outfits in the game and all that kind of stuff, and basically just gives you full control of the match. So it's nice to know that they, again, trying to take that away. They say, fourth, we have improvements in the works for both our player support tools to better deal with cheats internally, and an in-game report system to give you feedback on when a player reported was banned. So this is all about like the player reports and the fact that the in-game player report system is a bit crap, as I said earlier. At the moment, it seems like they are trying to improve on that and maybe try and make it so it's actually worth using. Because right now, I don't think anybody bothers with it. You know, so many people will report somebody for abusing the game's mechanics because they dropped a pallet on their head too many times. It's absolutely pathetic, and we've covered a few of them in previous videos. So I think Behavior have realized that, maybe, and they're saying here that they're going to make it better, and they're also going to give you feedback, because we never got feedback before on what happened when somebody was reported. You know, you just kind of, you put your report in, you forget about it, it went away. It was like sending a letter to the North Pole to Santa. You never saw it again. But this is actually nice now to know that we might get something back for our troubles. That's pretty cool. Beyond in-game improvements, we'll be communicating on our progress against cheats more regularly as part of our developer updates and beyond. We want to keep you in the loop and share as much information as possible. Again, that is phenomenal. Just letting your community know what's happening is a big, big win, I think, for Behavior there. And this is something, again, that should have just been done before. You should have been telling everybody that you hear them and that you know that there are problems that you need to deal with. That's just like, it's such a small thing. You don't have to share details, but just saying like, hey guys, we hear you. That's enough. You know, just to know that we are being listened to. That is more than enough. And that's, I think, what just a lot of people wanted, just to know that they're being heard. They do say how you can help. And, you know, they talk about, again, the in-game report system. And they do, oh, look at me. Okay, we're back. Oh, sorry about that, guys. So they basically say that the in-game report system is one thing, but if you have like video proof, you can actually submit it to the support team through that link, which I just accidentally clicked. And a lot of people do say that if you do want your report to be taken seriously, you should submit video evidence. And, you know, that's what a lot of people tell streamers to do. And I've seen on Twitter recently as well, there have been people talking about like a replay option so that you can kind of go over a game and in-game moments where you think somebody might have been cheated and kind of like scrub through it and fully check. And that should be a kind of a system in the game. I don't really care about that personally. I'm not going to be somebody who will put myself at risk by reporting cheaters directly. As what I said in my previous video and what JRM said, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. I'm just going to kind of let Behavior do their thing, and I'm just going to try and ignore them as best as possible. But that's just me. Obviously, if anybody else wants to report them, more power to you. Crack on. Beyond reporting cheating, your counter, our support team is always available should you have any information on potential exploits or cheats. So I think this is basically saying here, if you've come across a cheat that isn't being talked about, if it's like a brand new cheat, and you know how they're doing it, or maybe you have insider information on how cheats and hacks are being implemented, you can go and talk to the support team. Basically creating like a little rat system here. This is snitches get stitches kind of territory, I think. And to be honest, I think that's basically all they say. They just kind of, you know, put something at the end here and say, you know, this is something we are working on and we're trying to make the game better as possible for you guys. So, first couple of things. One, my only criticism really with what I've read so far is that it doesn't feel like we're going to get any of these things necessarily until end of this year, early next year. That's a long time. You know, for a lot of people who stream this game or just want to play this game at the moment who feel unsafe, it's a very long time to ask them to wait before they're able to play the game again comfortably. And that's my only criticism, is that I feel like, considering we've been talking about this, or people have been talking about this for at least 8 months, even a year, the fact that only now are we getting information and we're still having to wait a little bit longer, that just, you know, that feels like a real misstep on Behavior's part, and that would be my only criticism. However, I do feel like it should be said that Behavior have done a very big win here. This is a very, very, very good thing that they've put out, and, you know, just acknowledging the fact that cheaters are a problem and kind of giving any information they can to people and trying to make people feel more at ease. I respect it, and I think that Behavior should be applauded for this blog post. I think they've done a really good thing, and it should hopefully be the first step into getting rid of this problem and hopefully just making the game a little bit more safe. But that's my thoughts. Please do let me know what you think in the comments. And, you know, maybe this is the end of the whole Behavior drama saga. Maybe I won't make another one of these videos. Maybe I will. Who knows? But, yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.
So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you.